And away we go. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Big 12 Mafia Show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown, and with me are my two partners and co-hosts in crime. That would be Moen and Wild Ute. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. How you doing? Happy Tuesday.
Getting by. You're not feeling good, so why don't you tell everybody what's going on?
Yeah, I've had a viral infection for the last week or so. Been coughing my head off, and I'm going to keep it together during the show so we can talk about some Big 12 football and who's actually a legit national championship contender. So we're going to lay it down right here, right now.
Yeah, it should be a good conversation. I think people should have a lot of fun. We encourage everybody to get involved, get into those comment sections, and kind of tell us what you guys think, what we get right, what we get wrong, and everything else associated with that. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight on a Tuesday evening. Summer's right in the corner, right in front of us right now here in Utah. It's over 90 degrees every day now, and it's only getting warmer. I hope everybody's
Mm.
having fun and staying safe. Make sure you follow us all on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you know when our shows are on both YouTube and your notifications on Twitter. And then lastly, consider becoming a member of the College Football Mafia Network. Nolan, why don't you tell everybody about that membership?
Yeah, by becoming a member, you get access to our exclusive VIP membership videos, including Wild Ute University and Timeline. You also get to use custom emotes here in the chat if you want to use a whiskey bottle emote, whiskey shot, conference conference logo emojis. You can use those in here as well. And finally, we always defer to members' comments first when posting messages from the chat.
Excellent. I appreciate you going through that with everybody, Moen. Really quick, I want to highlight where we're at right now in our special members only videos. We have a latest edition of Timeline, the Pacific Powerhouse. What's that one, Moen?
That's what if Larry Scott actually closed the deal and added Texas and Oklahoma to the Pac-12. Where would they be now?
Yeah, that would definitely be a different world for sure.
Yeah,
On top of that, we got
absolutely.
Wild Ute University with Syracuse and UConn, which is best for the Big 12. Virginia Tech. We have a North Carolina State video in here. Coos Corner, should the expansion Big 12 add Duke if the ACC implodes. These are all videos that are available to our members only. So I encourage everybody to consider becoming a member of our channel. And on top of the increased engagement you get as a member, it's really important that you join the conversation as we talk about these special members videos, because you're the smartest guy at the water cooler the next day once they're released. And certainly, if you want realignment, you want any college football history or news items, they're going to be in those special videos. All right, before we jump into anything, Mullen, tell everybody how you had a good weekend and what's on your mind going into this week.
I had a fine weekend. Worked most of the weekend, but what's on the top of my mind is we're getting closer to football season, and we can finally talk some football.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Talking football today. We're going to hammer football. We're going to talk about, we're going to deep dive into the Big 12, y'all. Probably deeper dive than you've seen anywhere else on who's the title contenders, the tier rankings for Big 12 squads based on some important analysis too. So we're going to break all that out, and then we're going to tier rank the Big 12, and at the end of it, we're going to show you exactly who are the legit national championship contenders. And there are a few, actually. There are a few, so watch out for that. It's coming your way.
One last thing before we get going, I want to tell everybody we are now selling our Big 12 Mafia rally towels. I'm trying to raise some money to do some stuff that's associated with the channel and primarily around the video game, and trying to build that up. And to do that, I have to sell some stuff. And one of those things we can sell is our rally towels. Before, they used to go to members only, but now I'm offering those for sale for $15. Just Venmo at NPB007, $15, and make sure you add your address, and I will make sure to get one of those things out to you. We're not going to make any money on the towels, but it will help us offset some of those costs. So definitely, if you have any questions about that, shoot me a DM, or you can just follow the instructions, sign and then Venmo and send over $15 in your address.
We love doing the stuff, but it's definitely a labor of love, right, Bomber? This is our passion, though. So we love being with y'all.
I'm still behind a bit, but that's okay. We're having fun. That's all that
That's
matters.
exactly right.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and just jump right in. As we go through the news from last week, there wasn't anything that really has changed in the last 4 or 5 days. So we're not going to slow down the show by talking about any of the news items that carried over from last week. Just know stuff is still top of mind. Still have the Florida State, ACC, UNC, Clemson mess, and where that's going to end up. We have all the legal shenanigans going on with all the college football legislation and type of rules they're trying to put into place to help pay players, NIL coverage and whatnot. And then last but not least, we always have those things that are the nitty and gritty, and that is where we are in realignment as a whole. No, we're not going to cover any of those really today. We wanted to get into a fun topic. Moen already hit the ball out of the park by saying, let's talk some football. I think everybody's ready. We're in a countdown now. I believe we're below, 75 days to kickoff or more than that. Might be closer to 60 days. And everybody's really anxious. We've had a long off season. It's been fun. But yeah, there's a lot going on there. So let's go ahead and just jump right into that. So I'm going to bring up the Brett McMurphy link, and I got to have everybody be patient with us here as we go through and we look for different lists, things to talk about and whatnot. One of the things that we try to do is get the most up-to-date posts from those people that are out in the world contributing those. Brett McMurphy is certainly one of those, and we highly respect him and his reporting. I'm going to bring this up so everybody can see it, and then I'll shrink it down back again. But you want to run through this? What are we looking at here?
Absolutely. So we're setting the foundation here, okay? So we're going to get into this. We're actually going to talk about legit national championship contenders and why. And we're looking here at the Big 12 win totals based on Action Network's projections. They're some of the best in the business as far as odds go. Brett McMurphy put these out a little bit ago. And this just sets the foundation for what the odds makers think. The Big 12, like if they did their own little stack ranking, you want to say that based on where they think teams are going to shake out wins and loss wise, here they are. This is a list. So put your eyes on the list, take a look, take a deep look at it, because this information is going to factor in intuitively into the stack rankings that we're going to make later on. So you can see K-State, Utah, 9.5 wins, then KU 8.5. So it's a one drop down, and then Arizona, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, TCU, and so on. So just get that in your head a little bit. That's just laying the foundation for later on in this episode.
Before we get started, let me bring all three of us up. I'm not sure where we went. There we go. Let's get some shout outs. Let's let some people know that we're paying attention and we appreciate them being here tonight. First in the house is Buckshot Kid. Glad to have you here, Buckshot Kid. Nope.
That's not Buckshot Kid. That's me saying hey to Buckshot Kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Let him cook.
Ryan Willie is number one then. That would be high at College Football Mafia. That blame Moen for that. Ryan Willie also follows that up by saying the Big 12 champ doesn't have a legit chance to win a natty.
So this is a bit controversial, right? I mean, like there's a lot of folks out there like what you're saying, Ryan. I don't think the Big 12 champ has a legit chance to win a natty. Let's take a look at that though. Let's really take a look at that.
Joaquin Morales, another member, says, "Hey, Bomber, Wild Ute, Moen, and College Football Mafia family. Don't forget to smash that like button, and it's free. Yes, please do that. That really helps us. I appreciate Joaquin always looking out for us on the sidelines." Timothy Green, another member, says, "Hey, y'all, let's get ready for another great show." Thanks a lot. We appreciate it, Timothy. Rock Chalk 94 says, "Hey, guys, another member."
What's up, Sawyer? Welcome in the house.
Antoine Codes, another member, says, "I can guarantee that there are no legit national title contenders in Tucson. Those degenerates won't even be on the line to compete for the Big 12 Mafia. I guess I'm saying title. I can't see that logo.
Ranking titles.
Okay, well, we'll find out. By the way, hello to Big 12 Mafia. Thank you very much, Antoine. Good to see you here. Let's see here. Dallas Marquez, another member, says, "Let's go." Thank you very much, Dallas. Daniel Gygax coming in says, "Hi, everyone." Let's see. BR One of the OGs. Good to have you here, BR. Says Oklahoma State finishes the Big 12 season in first place. Sorry, Utah.
Ooh. TBD, BR. Hey, that's why we've got a 3-member panel, though, so you're not just going to get complete biased takes from this end right here. So
I like
we'll
that a lot, too. That's good, yes. The Big Lubbock, another member says, number 9, good to have you here, Lubbock. Dan Miter says, Utah not winning the Big 12 will lose in championship game for easy schedule, after an easy schedule. They do have an easy schedule. There's no doubt about that. Let's see here. Adam Ontiveros, another member, says, hey, everyone, wreck 'em. Good to have Texas Tech in the house. Glenn Luman, all the way from the Philippines, BYU fan. Good morning from the Philippines. Thank you, Glenn. We appreciate you being with us as your morning gets going on your Wednesday. Caleb Ramirez says, did you guys watch Greg's show and the update in the Holy Smokes Theater? I was working today. I didn't see Greg's show. Did you see it, Moen?
I watched it. I didn't catch the last hour. I had to get some work done too. But
okay, so
yeah, I saw the update in the Holy Smokes Theater. There's a receipt. There's like letters and numbers. It's like it's very cryptic and
oh, okay.
Like it's like the Zodiac killer, I think.
Okay, well,
like a fancy suit though, right? Like a fancy suit. That sounds like Brett Yormark to me. I don't think Sankey wears fancy suits, but TD might. That's Brett Yormark written all over it.
I don't know. I'd like to know what's going on there. So if you listen to the whole show, and obviously we didn't, and you can give us a quick update, certainly do that in the comment section, and we'll certainly discuss it here. Greg Flugar, a friend of the show, the OG of Realignment social media, and peek around the corner, Flug Empire. Let's see here. Caleb Ramirez. Oh, sorry. Shonsky, another member, says, hello, everyone. It's going to be great talking football.
You're welcome, Shonsky. He spent all day hammering us about it.
Dave 77 says Utah, Kansas State for the 12. I could see that.
Eyeballs, anybody?
I could see that. RT, another member, says, howdy, gentlemen. Thank you very much, RT. Clint Moses, one of our resident OSU, that would be the Beavers. It won't be Utah. Kansas will run the 12 in football and basketball, making it a one-team conference. I don't think anybody thinks
about Utah yet. Like there's this Utah slamming. You know what? Like I could tell. You know, some folks don't want Utah to win. Hey, it's best for the Big 12 to see the Utes win this year. There's going to be a lot of momentum, guys.
I don't think the Big 12 has that one team. We'll find out, though. Coy in the house saying, hi, all. Another member. Mr. Ed Wayner says, hi, all. Georgia Tech needs attention. Let's get to that drinking game early and often. Here we go. Georgia Tech and who is it? Syracuse are leading leading the pack when it comes to drinking game numbers. You guys hear those? Take a little swig. Make sure you're legal and no driving after the show. Let's see here.
You're just drinking water tonight, feeling a little under the weather and stuff. So if I drank any beer right now, I'd just be coughing on y'all. So
we don't want that. That's all right. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? Line Ted says, good evening, all. Arnon God says, or Gad, sorry, keep Colorado under the radar.
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't think Colorado wins 6 games. So anyway, we'll find out. Scott Schrader, another member, says we're talking football instead of realignment. Heck yeah. Let's get involved, everybody.
Heck yeah.
Get those memberships up. Start giving some memberships to other members of the public. Let's get other things out there that we can talk about. And certainly realignment is getting a little tired for sure. Chris E. says Colorado will rule the Big 12. It can't be kept down as they have most national games in the Big 12. Well, we know that why that is, though. It's not because their team's good. Yeah,
prime time, baby.
Don't know anything to say anything about that. Friends, call me Sean. Another member says Utah to the CFP. Let them cook. Georgia Tech. Owen?
Yes.
Let him cook. Let him cook now. I said let.
Audio's cutting out. All right.
Yeah. I need to get a new.
Chris
course of
E
that.
says Arizona that won against Colorado by a field goal. Colorado gave away that game, and they are ranked this high in Big 12. Big 12 is a joke. Okay, Chris?
That's fair. I mean, there's a lot of that's the perception from the P2 right there, guys. Like, I don't like that either, but that is really like the view. So let's examine if that's true or not, and who are the real contenders. And guess what? The Big 12 needs to win a playoff game, and they need to make a run to get any type of respect. That's just a fact. Got to do it. So got to prove them wrong, guys.
Hey, Chris E, tell us who your school is. Would you mind giving us a comment, reply to us so we know who you're supporting, because that makes the difference. Tony Lawson says UCF is a sleeping giant. I think most people would agree with you there. Let's see here as we scroll down. RT replies, I agree. They will be surprised when Colorado starts winning. Colorado played the most ranked teams last year without an O-line and D-line, and only lost by field goal and a touchdown on most of its games. Maybe. I don't know. You'd have to show me something more than they've been able to get us up to now. Michelle Weintraub, another member, says, hey, all. And that's going to get us to the bottom. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. All those shout-outs are important. We like to pay it back and let you guys know that we're paying attention. So thank you for being here tonight. And let's jump into this. All right, let me bring that list back up. All right. So let's go with you, Moen. What's your first thoughts as you look at this list?
I think Oklahoma State, you take the over on that. I think West Virginia, you take the over on that. Kansas State and Utah are clearly the favorites, but I think I would put Oklahoma State at the very top.
Okay. Now, anything else that stands out to you before we?
No, the bottom looks
okay.
Bottom looks right. Colorado, that's probably a good one, 5.5. Cincinnati, boy, I don't know about Cincinnati. I wasn't impressed last year, but this is his second season. Let's see if he comes up with something a little better. But Iowa State at 7.5. I think that's an even as well.
Okay, I think that's fair feedback. I'll give you mine. I definitely think Kansas State, Utah. I think Kansas is one step below. Oklahoma State has been at the top of my list since we started doing these a few months ago. And I think if you want to win money, I think BYU will probably win more than 4.5, so they'll win 5 games. Be great if they could make a bowl game, but we know that's a rebuild. So, and then UCF, their schedule is pretty tough, and they finished with Utah at home. I think, in my opinion, that game will probably be the division between a 7 and a 6-week 6-win regular season for UCF. So, Arizona, I think, is a dark horse. It'll all depend, how much they lost when they lost their coach and a bunch of players. So that's what stands out to me. I definitely think, though, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Utah are certainly the class of the conference. And until they're beat, it's kind of hard not to take them. I also would say that West Virginia is a dark horse. They could win 8.5, 9 games if they play well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're putting money on this, you take the over on West Virginia. That is such a...
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Understand that.
That's printing money right there. Go ahead and throw that one on the
What
casino.
kind of slander is that? Gee, Mountaineer fans, 6.5 wins. They've got the whole team coming back.
Yeah,
that's unreal.
I think they're the one of 3 that has 20 or 22 starters to come back from last season. It's insane how much talent they return. Lonnie Johansson, a $2 super chat gets us started, saying hi from Northeast Kansas and go BYU and UAU and the Big 12. Thank you, Lonnie.
Thank you, Lonnie.
Appreciate you very much, and always your super chats are always very much appreciated. All right, so you got me and Moens. What you tell everybody what you're thinking?
I think that Cincinnati is a bit high. I think that Arizona State's a bit high. I think that Colorado is a bit low. I think West Virginia is way low. I think TCU's too high, and Oklahoma State's too low. All the rest of them seem right in line to me. So the biggest on the board, though, is West Virginia at 6.5. Just as makes you fall out of your chair. That makes no sense at all. And
Yeah.
I TCU at 7.5. I just don't see that at all. I would take the under on that.
So let's look at TCU and what they did last year. They didn't have the best of bounce back seasons. Their quarterback obviously left them the year before. They were shuffling offensive linemen throughout the season. When I talk about TCU to friends, the first thing that comes to mind is it's tough to win in Waco. Sorry, not Waco. It's tough to win in TCU's in Dallas, right?
Right.
And I really think that they're right on chalk. I think 7.5 is about where they're going to be.
Texas Tech they're confusing. Like the smoke around the Texas Tech program and Red Raiders tell me if I am wrong with this, but that the trench play is going to be a concern this year.
Right.
Like running back depth strong, like the skill position's fine, but really trench play is the issue for Tech. So that's kind of a hard one to predict. Probably 7.5 wins is right for them. But
Adam says Tech works best when it's a chip, when it has a chip on its shoulder. 2008, 2019. Just watch. So we'll see, I guess. Texas Tech.
We'll see. So I think the next thing that we'll want to look at here, and when folks think of the Big 12, like a lot of the, if you want to say like the baggage from the P2 perspective, is partly because of recruiting rankings. Okay, like let's be honest about that. So Bomber, there is a link. See if you can pull it up, and it actually is a pretty interesting link, and it factors in recruiting rankings for the last 4 years, and this is high school recruiting rankings. Transfers aren't thrown into this, but basically, I think it kind of washes out anyway.
Is that the FanDuel one?
No, it's a different one.
Let me see.
I'll get you the link.
Athlon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me bring that up.
This is important though, like when you're looking at and setting the foundation. So this is going to show you exactly where nationally over the last 4 recruiting cycles for high school kids where the Big 12 stacks up, guys. And if you want to hear the shade about the Big 12, this is it. Like this is based on like, we're not looking at the 2024 talent composite per 24/7 that isn't out yet. So this is kind of like just an idea of what kind of recruiting Big 12 schools have done, right? So actually the number one recruiting team, and you can see in 2024, 2023, 2022, and 2021, like what the national average was. So if you factor all those things in, TCU actually is the best high school recruiting team in the Big 12. Utah shakes out number 2 with West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Baylor, and so on down this list and everything. But the thing to note is, okay, so when you're looking at over the last 5 years from 2020 to 2024, you're looking at TCU's really averaged 35 in the nation in recruiting, in high school recruiting, not transfer-based recruiting. So that's not a top 20 class. That's not a top 10 class and everything. So when you're hearing about the Big 12, like negative talk and everything, it's largely because of recruiting. Big 12 schools largely get 3 and sometimes 4-star kids. A 5-star is rare to come by. Let's just be honest about that, unless you're UCF, who's been hot on the recruiting side. This does not factor in transfer portal. So Big 12 schools like Utah have been hitting the transfer portal hard, which lifts these numbers. This is just strictly high school based recruiting, but you can just get an idea of it. Like this is based on high school recruiting talent that these programs have brought in, since 2020, and TCU has recruited the best of this new brand. What do you guys think about that?
Moen?
It's interesting. But again, I always say you can have the best recruiting class in the world. They got to pan out. You got to develop them, and they got to pan out. So I don't put as much weight in recruiting as some people do.
I think there's 2 strategies, right? There's the transfer portal strategy, the Colorado template, and then there's the really heavy high school recruiting. Try to get as many of the 5 and 4 chip 3, yeah, if you have to. But there's no doubt about it that the Big 12 out of the 4 P4 is the one that struggles the most when it comes to recruiting. And I think the numbers prove that out. And part of that has to do with, I think, the region that this conference covers. It's a lot of the heartland of the country, a lot of second cities, and states that aren't, number one or number two in the country in recruiting. And so you make do with what you have. Now, I would also say I think the Big 12's overperformed over the years with the players that they've been able to get. But in my opinion, none of this surprises me. We will be probably another 5 years down the road before we can find out if NIL and anything else, any other recruiting tools that are currently available legally in college football can turn it around as a conference. I'm not holding my breath. I think there might continue to be struggles. On the other hand, once the ACC blows up for all intents and purposes, I think a little of that switch could happen.
Right. So looking at high school recruiting, this is the big idea to take away. High school recruiting, that's how you build the foundation of your program. You fill holes with transfer players. You might get a quarterback in the transfer portal, a wide receiver. That is a hole fill right there. That's not how you build the bread and foundation here. It's still the high school recruiting. And look at Colorado, and that cluster that is and everything and how that's shaken out. But when I'm looking at this list, guys, there's one team in particular, and that's Kansas State, that's showing up 9th out of 16 Big 12 schools on this list.
Right.
And when I'm thinking about a national championship contender, I'm thinking hey, usually you have to beat the blue blood ratio, meaning you have to have more 4- and 5-star kids than 3-star kids historically to win a national championship. That's based on over the last 20, 25 years. If you're going to not just get to the playoff, but win the dang thing, right? And I think that, you can make the argument that going down the list, every little notch here and stuff, this just shows that you might not have an elite level of depth. So if you got into the playoffs, can you win multiple games to get to a championship run?
Right.
One of the concerns that I got is K-State here with the 9th best recruiting class over the last 5 cycles with freshmen. They might have developed some and stuff, but is the talent, the backup talent there? I don't know. I know that roster a little bit. I don't feel comfortable if there were multiple injuries that K-State could make a run deep into a playoff, right? They could win the Big 12 certainly, but that's the one team that's glaring on this list. Can K-State, with their recruiting historically, do they have the depth to make a run in a playoff scenario?
We got a comment here from Illini Ted saying a 3-star kid out of Texas, Florida, and Cal can usually perform on par with a 4 or 5-star from some of these other states. All about development, as Moen said. I would agree with that.
The issue is when you're looking at elite rosters like Georgia, you've got talent and development. So when you're talking about a national championship, in the top 5 rosters, you've got elite coaching and elite players, and every step is elite, right? Player 1 through 4 is elite, the depth chart and everything. So it's different. Getting to the playoffs is different than winning a national championship. And really wanted to focus this episode on, do we have the horses in the Big 12 to get to Natty and win it, and what that could look like. And so this, again, that recruiting slide, just looking at kind of the facts about high school recruiting is something that folks would point to say, hey, the Big 12 doesn't really have the depth to get to a national championship. I want to counter that though, in going forward here.
Let's get a comment from Lonnie Johansson, a member, has been a member for 5 months. Thank you so much for your loyalty, Lonnie. How do you think ASU and UA going to do in the cold? It's different football than it is on the West Coast for certain. I think Arizona State's going to struggle.
Arizona State struggled every time coming up to Salt Lake City in the cold.
Yeah.
They never won in the cold.
Yep.
So it's always an issue for those schools. So yeah, it's going to be an issue wherever they go in the cold, both of them.
All right. So what do you want to get to next?
Let's now just jump over to one. There's 2 more things we're going to take a look at. Then we're going to throw the stack rankings together for everybody. Okay. And then engagement would be awesome too. If you disagree with the stack ranking we put together and stuff, we'll of course consider it. But let's now pull up the FPI. I know a lot of folks hate ESPN FPI. I think it's kind of interesting, though, to take a look at that. ESPN FPI is the power ranking based on the black box algorithm that ESPN forms to tell you how strong schools are. So check it out. Like based on, this kind of tails off from last year, but it factors in recruiting, factors in schedules, factors in a lot of things. Again, it's a black box, so nobody knows exactly how it's completely formed. But look what FPI kind of thinks. And you can see the rank column, which is like in the power index column. The rank is basically the FBI rank to start the season. And KU is now 17. I think KU is the 17th best team in the nation. K-State's 22, Arizona 24, Utah 27, Oklahoma State 26. So FPI doesn't love the Utes right now. That's a little bit of a trailing losses from last year from the Utes, following them a little bit. But another interesting component here, kind of how the analytics and not just like the humans are kind of looking at the Big 12 this year.
Moen, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it weighs too much on certain star players because Kansas is getting weighed based off of Lance Leopold still, the head coach there, and Jalen Daniels. 100%. That's why Kansas is number one right now. Jalen Daniels, he's a dark horse candidate for a Heisman Trophy. I think that's messing with that ranking.
All I can say is that Utah 27 is a travesty. That's extremely low. And this is a senior-laden, upperclassman-laden team. And frankly, if I know we said it last year, at least you said it last year, but that was assuming Cam was going to come back. If they don't win, at least win one playoff game this year, I'm not sure they ever will. You got Cam. You've got a couple of four-star quarterbacks backing him up. I cannot think of a reason why Utah shouldn't be at the very tip top. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. And like, I think that this FBI is completely discounting the fact that, Rising was out last year and Keithy was out last year. So it's basically Keithy's going to be an All-American tight end. Rising, everyone knows Cam Rising, how good a player he is and a winner he is. Last two, conference races he won the Pac-12. Like Cam Rising is a proven winner at the conference level and stuff. And the Utes couldn't get in the 14 playoff, but it's a 12-team playoff now. So this Utah team is loaded. They addressed some holes in the transfer portal, so they're going to be an absolute bear in the Big 12 this year. And I think this is underrating them. Just wanted to show all like the facts and everything. And you can see like the FPI estimates for win totals. This will change week to week and everything, but this is what some of the analytics say in preseason. So we can get off this. We're just forming the opinion now for our stack rankings, guys.
I would ask for feedback while you guys are watching. Please put your comments in the comment section. If there's anything that stands out to you about all these three slides that we're going over, either the rankings, the FPI rankings, the recruiting, or we're going to talk about last, and that's the Heisman odds. This is your chance to sort of talk back. This is an open episode. We're probably going to get quite a few comments, so we encourage everybody to participate. That's the best way to do it. Okay. I don't have.
All right, lastly, let's go take a look at some FanDuel info, and then we're going to get to the stacks. So FanDuel, love FanDuel. Let's just take a look-see who they're saying the Heisman Trophy winners. So Big 12 folks that might be eligible for Heisman Trophy based on the odds right now. You can see the first Big 12 name that's popping up to me outside of ex-Big 12 or Will Howard over at Ohio State now, Mo. Look at that. Will Howard's fourth on the list. Crazy. Avery Johnson, K-State's new quarterback. Sunshine Avery Johnson, the absolutely track stud, so fast, explosive, but he's down there at 2,500. So put $100 on it, you get 2,500 back. And then, so he is number one in the Big 12 as far as Heisman odds. So they're thinking he's going to be one of the best players in the Big 12. Note that. Noah Fafita. We all know Fafita. He's sitting there right behind Avery Johnson and Jalen Daniels. Yep.
That's quite a bit lower than I thought he would be at, to be honest.
Isn't that wild?
I think it is. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Fafita's right there. I mean, Fafita's 3,000 plus 3,000 odds. And then you've got Daniels, even by 3,000 too, so they're at in the same spot. Then Shador Sanders right there, so plus 4,000. Then my boy Cam Rising right there. I want to put $100 on Cam Rising, win five grand, y'all.
And then we have Travis Hunter, dark
Travis
horse to be the offensive and defensive front runner for Player of the Year.
Absolutely. So you're just getting an idea here. So some of the quarterbacks that are often talked about: Avery Johnson, Fafita, Shador Sanders, Daniels, Rising, and of course Travis Hunter. So those are going to be some of the premier playmakers. Ollie Gordon's going to be one of them too. I don't see him on this list and everything, but he was the running back Doak Walker Award winner last year. So he's going to be up there as one of the best players in the Big 12 too. So just something to put in your mind. Well, there's KJ Jefferson. That's crazy that he's on this list.
Crazy. That is crazy. There's Ollie Gordon right there.
Yep.
Just try to see if there's any others that jump out at me. Moen, are there any of these that surprise you?
No, like I said, if I was going to put money on anybody, I'd put money on Jalen Daniels out of Kansas.
Okay.
I think if anybody comes out of the Big 12 as a Heisman Trophy winner, the Heisman Trophy loves quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I like Ollie Gordon a lot too, but he's a running back, and they just don't value running backs as much as they do quarterbacks in the Heisman Trophy nowadays. So
I will say this: it's a PR award as much as anything on the field. We saw that last year with Jalen Daniels winning, even though he wasn't the best quarterback. Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter on a flyer, I could see taking a couple $100, putting 100 on each, and trying to win $40,000 because that's it's a PR award. And if there's ever a time that Deion's going to get a Heisman Trophy winner, it's going to be one of these two kids.
Yeah, it goes to the most dynamic player, not necessarily the best player.
Well, he's definitely dynamic if you look at him and you watch him play
as
one
is
off.
Jalen Daniels. I think he's a dynamic player. If he can stay healthy, I think he can have that highlight reel with the Heisman moments.
Yeah, Sanders, if Colorado happens to make a run and win the Big 12 somehow, some way, Shador Sanders is probably the Heisman winner. Just think about that. You're right, Bomber. It's like all about like the optics and everything.
Right.
If Colorado happens to win the Big 12 to sneak into the playoff, how is he not? Like, it just makes so much sense that he would be the Heisman winner. I don't see that happening, but that's the scenario, right?
Well, it's a tank of gas in a big truck, and I think it's worth it. I don't bet sports, so I won't be doing that. But if there's somebody out there that has a little bit of money kicking around in the Pinto in the back seat, I would go and put $100 on probably Shador. I don't think Travis can stay healthy.
There you go. So let's go over to the next tab. So we're on the Heisman tab right here.
Sure.
So let's go to the CFP. This is the odds to make the CFP. So let's take a look-see. We'll see if we can scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, where's the numbers that we're looking at? I don't see. Is it these?
Yeah, it looks like go hit show more right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yep.
So Utah 280. So Utah the highest odds to make the playoff in the Big 12, based on what FanDuel's saying here. And then Texas Tech, look, 750. They're right there to make the playoff too. But look, where's K-State here?
It's over on the far column. It's 310. It looks like
310. So Utah, K-State, like they're the common teams are emerging. KU's plus 600, so a little farther down and everything. But Iowa State, they're at 750 with Texas Tech. Just a little bit more evidence. UCF, look at that, 950. So more evidence. Oklahoma State at 950. I'm telling you guys, what? Oklahoma State at 950? Man, I don't know.
I don't get about that.
With Oklahoma State.
All they have to do is get into the 12, right? They just have to win the conference. I don't understand that at all.
How in the world is Oklahoma State getting so disrespected? Holy smokes. Poke fans out there, what the heck's going on? Tell us what's going on.
That seems pretty broken to me. I don't quite understand how they put the metrics together, but I mean, Oklahoma State is 950, Boise State 700. But that's because they're in the G5 ranks, right? So they have an easier path. but still, I think, yeah, I don't quite understand that. Utah's odds to win 280 is hardly worth putting a bet down, but 900, 950,
Right.
I think that's crazy not to.
And let's look at the national championship odds. That's now if you scroll up and go to the third tab to the left, right there. Okay, this is the last one we're going to look at, and then just show more. All right, so let's look here what kind of odds these Big 12 teams have based on what the odds maker is saying. You can see there's a lot of teams in front of them, guys. Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Utah showing up right there. So put $100 on Utah, get 6,000 if they win the Natty. There, so like yeah, looking at like the odds, like Utah's probably in what roughly the 20th position, 25th position, as far as what the odds makers think for the national championship. Scroll down a little bit more. We'll see who else is there. We got K-State. So yeah, Kansas, Arizona, these common teams that we've seen a lot so far, right? Same kind of teams are showing up based on good quarterback play, good coaching, etc. So where's Oklahoma State on this? I just got to see it.
I don't know if
State.
Colorado is at 37 or 30,000.
Oklahoma State.
Look at Oklahoma State. It's down there below South Carolina.
30,000.
There you go. Put $100 on the Pokes and get a car out of that deal if they win the Natty.
That is
That's unreal.
crazy.
That's crazy.
That's why sports betting is crazy, I think.
It's got to be because of Bowman over there, the quarterback. You know, like I mean, Ollie
Yeah.
Gordon, offensive line's elite, defense is good. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. All right.
Guys. All right, now it's time to put the stack together. Okay, we've
Okay.
looked at a lot of info, a lot of data, a lot of the best players in the Big 12s. What the odds makers say. I think we all got a pretty good idea where we're going to go. Let me share screen here, and we're going to actually stack to see who's the title contenders here for the Big 12 and who's the Natty contenders. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All right. All right, let's look at it, okay? So we've got all 16 schools right here. Can you see, or is that too small?
I mean, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let me see if I can zoom in for everybody. That's not good. We'll
Go ahead.
Okay, so check it out. Based on all the data we've looked at, based on just what we know about the Big 12, I think there's 4 tiers in the Big 12 for 2024. And I think that the tier 1 schools are playoff contenders, possibly playoff win, and then potentially national championship contenders. And then we're going down. So we're going to start, guys, at tier 4. So who do you think out of the schools here would be at the lower tier of the Big 12? Based on what we've seen and everything, based on what you understand, who would you pick to finish last in the Big 12?
Houston.
Yep.
Houston, Cincinnati.
Okay, we got Houston. Let's move Houston over. Houston's tier 4. I agree. Okay, so then we're – go ahead.
Cincinnati.
I agree. What do you think, Bomber?
I agree with Cincinnati for sure.
Okay, now let's say that there's one more tier 4. I'm on a team. I want to see where you guys are, though. Who would be that last tier 4 team?
I think BYU is going to win more games than 4.5, but I don't know what that put with the rest of the ranks. Arizona State, just looking at comparisons. I don't even know how good Baylor is going to be this year.
Right.
Um,
Moan, what do you think?
I'd put BYU over there. No offense, Bomber. Like you said, they're rebuilding.
No, I didn't say anything.
No,
yeah, it's hard to if you look at the comparisons, it's hard not to put BYU down there.
So I'm on Arizona State.
That's where I was before Moen spoke. So
Moen, so let's go Arizona State, and because we just majority there, and then let's go BYU in tier 3 here.
Yeah.
Okay. I think BYU actually is going to be pretty dang tough, especially defensively with Jay Hill this year. Like I don't think the Cougars are a team you probably don't want to play and stuff. They're going to really punch you around. They remind me of Utah, early Pac-12 days. That's exactly how the Cougars are playing football and stuff when people just didn't want to play Utah at all.
I will say this:
muddied up.
If BYU had a 4-star quarterback, you'd have them up between tier 2 and 3. They just don't have a quarterback. So it shows you how much the most important player on the field, and if your team doesn't have one, where does that put you? So
Exactly. Now's where it gets really tricky, guys. Like you're looking at tier. This is like where this middle section of the Big 12 right here.
I think Colorado.
What do you think, Moan?
I would put Baylor first. Put Baylor in there
Fine.
because I'm not
Baylor,
sold on Dave Aranda.
I'm not
right.
either.
Baylor,
I'll
then
vote for Baylor.
Colorado.
What do you think, Moan? Are you in Colorado yet?
Yeah, move Colorado to tier 3.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let me move the teams up here. All right. Now we're getting to like the middle of the Big 12 and the upper half here. What we think, at least. So this is where it gets real tricky, right? These different tiers here. So, okay. I'm saying TCU next in line here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I would be okay with that.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to make an argument that Arizona should be there as well. And
tier
it's not
three?
it's not that Arizona doesn't have talent, but it's just that quarterback and the wide receivers. If anything happens to that quarterback,
Right.
Arizona's, up a creek without a paddle.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they don't have depth. I don't know. Yeah. I think that's a bit low, but I could go one more notch, the highest end of tier 3. I mean, just because they've got such high, they've got two players.
So I would put UCF in because UCF they're doing great recruiting right now, but I don't think they're there yet. I think the next 2 seasons is when you're going to see UCF become a real power in the Big 12. I just don't think they're there yet.
Can we fill the upper part in first?
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we can get there. So who do you want to put in the top-notch spot here for tier 1?
My vote's Kansas State.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go Kansas State too. I would agree with that.
Okay. Majority rules. Who would you go in the 2 spot?
Utah.
I would pick Utah. Yeah.
Okay. How about the 3 spot?
Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Okay. I agree with these teams in tier 1. I just disagree with the placement.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. I think that's
okay. Now, can we go down to tier 2? Who's the 4th team in the Big 12? Are we on Kansas?
Kansas.
I like Kansas and West Virginia.
Here's the problem with Kansas. What kind of depth does KU have? I mean, Daniels. Everyone rips Rising because he gets hurt, but Daniels has gotten hurt all the time. There isn't a Jason Bean to come back up him anymore. I know they've got good coaching and everything, but I'm not really sure the roster talent outside of Jaden Daniels and some players. I don't know. It seems like real boom or bust. They could be real middling and stuff or have a good season. Real unpredictable for KU.
I think because of the coach and what the coach has done there, I think you got to give it up to the coach. Arizona's got the same issue, but Arizona's breaking in a new coach.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would put Arizona down tier 3.
Okay, we'll go. Arizona's moving now to this spot?
No, the top one. Yep.
Okay.
There.
I'm okay with that for Arizona right there. Okay, we're filling the sucker in. All right, so we're saying KU. Do you agree with this, Bomber? Tier 2 KU?
I think West Virginia, Texas Tech, and Kansas are all the same team. That's just how I look at it.
I'm saying, okay, I think that Iowa State is better than Kansas this year.
Okay.
And West Virginia. So I guess we're gonna have to break this. So Bomber. So Iowa State or KU in this 4th spot.
Like I said, it could be West Virginia.
Or West Virginia.
Yeah, I would probably put West Virginia. And then Kansas. But you guys vote. I'll defer to what you guys think.
I would put Kansas and West Virginia.
Okay.
So, okay, we'll go Kansas, West Virginia. I'm going to say Iowa State. I'm going to get them in. I like Iowa State this year. Okay, so then here we go. This thing's filling in. Okay, all right, 2 more spots. I'm thinking Texas Tech's in tier 3, UCF's in bottom end of tier 2.
I don't know. Texas Tech might be better than you think, but UCF schedule. Can we bring up UCF schedule?
Yeah, can you share your screen?
Yeah, let me look at it. Hang on.
Yeah,
one
let's
second.
take a look at their schedules.
Yeah,
Let me
let me do a search for that really quick. Yeah.
I mean, is that too low on Texas Tech?
It may be. That's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to see who.
I would put Texas Tech. Like I said, I think UCF, not this season, the next 2 seasons will
Yeah.
be a
So
top tier in the Big 12, but I just don't think they're there yet.
Mo,
let's.
can you put a poll up and see what folks think too while we're talking about it for those 2? Who's going to have a better season this year?
So really quick while he's doing that, New Hampshire's a win. Sam Houston's a win. At TCU. Then they have their bye week. Then Colorado, Florida. At Florida, Cincinnati, Iowa State versus BYU. That's in Florida. Arizona is in Florida. Sorry, versus BYU and Arizona. Those road games then? No, they're home, right? So BYU and Arizona are both at home. Arizona State, I think they could win 8 or 9 games. This schedule's very, very comfortable. Their
Yeah,
toughest
that's pretty
battles
favorable.
would be Utah at home.
That's a Friday night game across country for the Utes.
Yeah, that
Gee,
is. Yeah,
but they're
that is.
going at West Virginia. That's tough to go back to back. Those
At
2.
Florida is another one I would probably, although Florida could be firing their coach this year.
Florida should have fired their coach last year.
They should have fired him 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Colorado, I think that's a win. They might win. Look, they have a very easy schedule. They're almost as easy as Utah's is.
I see 8 or
Yeah,
9 wins.
I do
on that.
too. Yeah.
Maybe 8. And that West Virginia game looks tough. It depends. Like that Utah game is going to be a swing game. Probably like 7 to 9 wins in that range.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that.
For UCF, we got to pull up the schedule for Texas Tech now. So we're at 7 to 9 wins for UCF. Yeah, the Arizona game, that's at home. So BYU's going out there too? Utah and BYU going out to
Yeah, they got
UCF.
both of them there. I would say they're 8 or 9 wins. So if you're gonna put them in the mix,
Well, we'll let the audience decide. We'll let the audience decide. We've got we're going to keep that poll open for another minute and a half, guys. So go ahead and vote in that poll if you want to. Right now, it's 60% Texas Tech, 40% UCF. If you think UCF has got it, you better jump in there.
You've got an angry Jason Spangler, who's been a member with us for a while. KU fan says KU destroyed Iowa State in Ames last year with their backup quarterback, but yeah, Iowa State is better. Unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe, man. Yeah, so look, Jason Bean was legit. I really respect that player. That guy was like a sprinter. He was a really good player and everything.
Yes.
I think Iowa State is returning so much. I think it all hinges on Jaden Daniels again for KU. Well-coached team. But if it's all hinging on one player, it's kind of like Arizona and Fafita a little bit. It's just a little too risky to really buy a lot right now. That's the perspective. So consider resubscribing though, Jason.
These are all opinions, Jason. Certainly tell us what games you think you guys are going to win, right? You could run through your schedule and give us your wins, and then we'll look at it, and maybe you convince somebody to change their vote. I think Kansas could be the third best team in the conference, and I think they could be the 7th best team in the conference. Injuries go a long way, and depth for these teams is so hard. That's probably the biggest challenge is depth.
Yeah, and the odds makers have KU at 4 or 5 spot. So we're right in line with what the odds makers made and everything. So I think that it's a fair assessment of KU.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to change my assessment there. I do agree. I forgot Bean when I first was talking about Kansas at the top of the show. I thought Bean was back. I didn't realize he was gone. So that was me just not knowing the facts on that quarterback room. If Bean was back, I could say Kansas easy could be 2 or 3 in the conference.
Yeah.
So the audience seems to think Texas Tech over UCF.
There
Okay.
we go.
I
Let's
would
put it together.
probably have to default to that. Yeah.
All right, let's share. All right, let's finish this off, guys.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, here we go. So Texas Tech makes it to Tier 2,
Okay.
and UCF now moves to Tier 3. I think we've made a pretty dang good list. Really do.
I think the bottom 2 in Tier 2 and the top 2 in Tier 3, you could
Yes.
make an argument for any of those teams to move up or down.
Why don't we just change the tiers then if you think that? So why don't we just
Well, that is the
move
problem.
the Tier 2 down a few notches?
Yeah, that is the problem with the Big 12 is you do have you have the strongest middle in all of college football, right? I would be okay with UCF all the way up to Kansas being Tier 2. I'd be all right with that.
What do you think, Moan?
Yeah.
You like this Tier 2? Is that better?
That's better, I think. But see, boy, now you really put. It's so hard with this damn conference.
It is. It is.
It's
really
not
is.
like the Big Ten or the SEC where we know who the guys are going to be at the top and who the guys are going to be at the bottom.
Right.
I mean, this is going to be a fun conference to watch this year.
I like having UCF in Tier 2. I think UCF's a complete dark horse. Like we said, 7 to 9 wins. We know how talented Arizona's top end players are, and then we've just got solid teams, in this area. And then KU right there, and that's exactly we're pretty high on KU, 4th position right there, top of Tier 2. All right, so we got the tier list now. So when we're looking at the tier list, we're going to look at Tier 1 and 2, and we're going to say, okay, if any of these teams won the Big 12, could they win a college football playoff game?
Ooh, that's a good one. I like it.
That's what we're talking about next, because we're going to get there on like, hey, where's the national championship contenders? That's what that's the whole namesake of this episode. We're going to get down that. It's the last part of this and everything. So
before we get started, let me just clear the boards. We're an hour in, everybody. If you want to be a part of the show, feel free to leave a comment. If you want your comment or question to be read, it'll have to be a super chat to guarantee that. Otherwise, we do defer to member comments. And then, of course, other comments, if we have time, we will get to them. But if you want your opinion to be held out tonight on a Tuesday night, it'll have to be a super chat from here on out. Okay, go ahead, you.
Let's do it, okay? Let's take a look at UCF. Case. Let's imagine that UCF made its way into the playoff by winning the Big 12 conference. Okay. They're positioned at 3 or 4 seed. They're going to be in that semifinal game. What is that? The quarterfinal game. What's the odds that they have a chance to win in the quarterfinal? Honestly,
which ones are we talking about?
UCF. We're just talking about UCF.
Oh, okay.
Can they win a quarterfinal game?
No.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move up to Arizona. Can Arizona win a quarterfinal game?
No.
If it wins
no.
I don't think so either. How about Texas Tech? Could it win a quarterfinal game?
I don't think so.
Nope.
I don't think so either. Iowa State could win a quarterfinal game with the Big 12.
No.
West Virginia could it win a quarterfinal game?
If they were playing at home, I would say yes, they could. But on the road, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
How about KU? Could they sneak a quarterfinal game if they win the Big 12?
So that would put them between 5 and 12, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So 5 and 12. So let's assume that's Notre Dame is 5, and Kansas gets in at 12. Do they
So
win
maybe
that
like
game?
maybe the second best in the SEC or the Big Ten or third best, or like Notre Dame you're looking at?
I don't think so.
What do you think, Mike?
I can't. I
That'd
really
be
think
tough.
they're a dark horse. I think they got a
If they get
puncher's
a home
chance.
game,
They got a puncher's chance,
yeah.
Mhm.
but I don't see it. And I really like Kansas. I really do
Right.
like Kansas this year.
Okay, let's move up and look at Oklahoma State. Could they win a quarterfinal game?
I think Oklahoma State could win one. Their defense is solid. Yes, I think they could.
Man, the quarterback play is concerning, I guess, for me. I just have a hard time seeing it.
They're a lot
At that
better
level.
than they look at. You better hope they're not very good because you have to travel to
That's going to be a
Oklahoma
heck of a
State.
game.
So
Yeah, that helps. Moen, what do you think? You're the tiebreaker here. Could they pull out?
I think they could. I think just like Bomber said, they've got defense, they've got a running game, they can win in the trenches. It's not going to be a pretty game.
no,
It might
Right.
be a 12-9 affair, but I can see Oklahoma State pulling one off.
All right, here we go. Very
really
good.
really quick. Let me interject here. Lonnie Johansson gives us another $2 super chat saying Kansas don't have a home field this year. Are they
True.
playing in Kansas City this
They're
year?
playing in Arrowhead.
Arrowhead, okay.
They're
Yeah.
playing Arrowhead for some games, and
Right. Because they're rebuilding the stadium, so
Right.
people know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so-
going to be tough for them.
Okay, here we go. So we're moving on here. This is the semifinal match, or this is the quarterfinal matchup. Oklahoma State's advanced to the semifinal. Can they win in the semifinal round?
no.
I don't think so.
Okay. Utah. Let's talk about Utah. Can Utah win if it wins the Big 12, could it win a quarterfinal game?
Yes.
Yeah, they could.
Okay. Could Utah win a semifinal game in the college
No.
football playoff?
It'll be tough. If Cam Rising is the leader for the Heisman, then yes.
I think Utah can. I think that it's quarterback play. I think that if Rising stays healthy, I mean, it's kind of like what we're talking about, Daniels and Fafita and stuff. If Rising's there, they could beat anybody. They really can. So I think that the Utes could win a semifinal game this year with the
Mullen?
talent they've got, with the weapons they've got, the defense they've got. But yeah, you guys be the tiebreaker.
I say no. I'm sorry, Ute, but their postseason record the last 5 years leaves a lot to be desired. It makes me wonder about whether Whittingham can actually get it done. The second point I would make is they're going to be playing defenses that are going to be next level defenses. They're going to be coming after the quarterback, and if Cam Rising gets hit, all bets are off.
I just think I hate Utah from a Reuters standpoint, but I have the utmost respect for them. I just think the injury bug the last 3 years has just been horrible. I don't see him having the horses to win a semifinal game.
That's fair.
I think
okay,
they
we'll
can
keep
win
it.
their first. I think they can win their first game, especially if
Mhm.
it's a home game. If they're winning the conference, but I don't think they can win that next one.
You know what's wild though? If you win conference in the Big 12, you get stuck in the quarterfinals, and those are neutral site. You don't get a home game this year. Only like the first round gets home games. So Utah or whoever wins conference would be playing on neutral site their first game.
Well, no,
Which sucks.
it's the P4, and Utah would be like the 4th seed, and I don't think they would be. I think they'd be the 3 seed. That's a
Mhm.
home game.
No, it's a bye.
Yeah.
It's a
bye in the
bye.
first
You're
round.
right. It's a bye. Sorry, I was transposing those in my head. Yep, you're right.
And like a good question is like, would you rather have a home playoff game or a bye? Wouldn't it be so good to have a home playoff game? Oh my gosh. I'd
I'll
almost
take
want to
the-
play that. just for the
Yeah,
sake
but
of it.
think about it. You take the bye.
Right. I get it. It sucks. I want a home game. All right. So Utah, you guys went out. Utah get bounced in the quarterfinal. They win the semifinal, get bounced in the semifinal, quarterfinal.
Yeah.
So K-State, can K-State win a quarterfinal game if it wins the Big 12?
Yes.
Okay. How about if K-State advances, can K-State get past anybody in the semifinals to get in the national championship?
I'm trying to think who they'd be up against. Could
So
you see-
you're looking like what tools K-State has. Avery Johnson, explosives, crap, Dylan Edwards. They've got Giddens. So their running attack is unreal. They are going to be explosive as crap. That's one of the things that's scary about the Cats this year. So like the offense explosion, you think that they're just going to go off offensively. Could they get it done in a semifinal game?
it's tough. It's tough. I like what Moen said. Give them a puncher's chance. They do have probably the most balanced team, top to bottom, in the league. So I'm 50-50. You guys, I'll defer to whoever you guys pick. I think they would have a chance.
Of the three teams that are in there, I think they'd have the best chance, but I think the talent on the teams that are out there that would be playing them in the semifinals, I think it would just be too overwhelming for them.
Yeah, you get one of those tops. Yeah.
Once we get that cap in place and you get a lot more parity in college football, I think it'll help. But I mean, imagine they end up playing a Penn State, a Penn State that didn't win the Big Ten championship but got one of the at-large seeds. That's going to be a tough game for them to match up with a Penn State or an Oregon or a Michigan or an Ole Miss or, a Tennessee.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like I don't see the Cats this year advancing past the quarterfinal. Well, yeah, I could see them win the quarterfinal, but not semis in the second round, like we're talking about here. I just think that maybe in another year, maybe like Avery Johnson develops another year and stuff. Maybe the Cats are there next year. They're a young team, great coaching and everything. I just can't see it this year. I really do think, guys, this is like my homer take and stuff. Got it, but like I'm telling you guys, Utah is better than you think, and Utah with Cam Rising could make a run. If there's that one team that can make a run to get to the national championship, it's Utah. It really is.
If he stays healthy.
If he stays healthy. If he's hurt, Utah ain't going to win the Big 12. They're not. But if he stays healthy, they've won enough. They've got enough experience on this team with coaching and everything else. That's the one team, because defensively they're so sound and everything. I think that they could win and get to the national championship game. I really do. The Utes. That's but I know that you guys didn't see the same thing, so we're not going to make a check mark there. So if we're talking about national championship contenders, we're talking about three schools right here, the top three: K-State, Utah, and Oklahoma State, that are going to be close, maybe sniffing and stuff, but not quite there this year and stuff. So that is our assessment of the Big 12.
Let's I want to pull this up here real quick. Guys, all the power conferences get a bye. If Utah wins, they will get a bye. Kansas wins, they will get a bye. Yeah, we understand that they're going to get the bye, Shonsky. We're saying when we're saying would they win a quarterfinal game, we're saying if they're an at-large seed, if they get in at number 7, if they get in at number 8. The semifinals would be, yes, if there was a bye, would they win? Yeah. Yes, that's a quarterfinal. Yeah.
Yeah, so second round. Then third round, fourth round. A fourth round, if you win the fourth round, you win the title. So hopefully that.
Right. Yeah. But the X's need to be on first round. That'd be your quarterfinal.
Yeah. So
it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how these teams, is there any chance that in that first round you could have 2 Big 12 teams?
Very could happen. I mean,
because
not beyond the realm of possibility. Let's say Utah and Oklahoma State.
Right.
Let's say Utah loses to Oklahoma State in the season, and then the Big 12 championship game, they beat Oklahoma State. They get their revenge. So, yeah, that's a possibility. That's a scenario where I could see 2 Big 12 teams getting in. They both have 1 losses.
Yeah.
It's to each other. Utah would obviously get the first round bye. Oklahoma State would have to play in the first round.
Yeah, I hope it happens.
Yeah, the Big 12 needs it.
Big 12 needs it, and there's a lot of just momentum against that right now with all the predictions saying the Big 12 is going to get one school in the playoff. That
Yes.
sucks. Like, we need to get more than one in the playoff. And like a lot of predictions have the ACC only getting one team in the playoff too, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, but you can't cannibalize. I mean, that's a problem with the Big 12. It's going to be the new pack where everybody's cannibalizing each other.
Right. Right. I think that's very distinct possibility. And as we get closer to the end of the beginning of the season, we'll go through these teams, not entire shows, but we'll do segments where we'll cover 2 or 3 schools in a show. And when we go through everybody's schedule, we might find out that there might be a surprise, or there might be a more difficult path than we're picturing right now that would make it tougher for a school to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think it might be Oklahoma State and Utah in a rematch of the title game, the same way it might be Ohio State and Oregon in a rematch in the Big Ten.
Easily. I think those of those 3 schools, I'm happy with any one of those 3 winning it. I think they would deserve it, but it would be great if we could get 2 teams in. The only way I can see we get 2 teams in is if we have an 11-1 versus a 10-2. The 10 beats the 11 in the championship game, and you take both teams after the championship game. But it's probably going to be profound. You're going to have 2 11-1 schools playing for the championship, and then you're going to need a break to get that second team in. Which in Big 12, I don't know. Which is why realignment is such a big deal, and why we've been saying for a long time that the Big 12 needs to be the number 3 going away conference. And the only way that happens, Florida State and Clemson need to move along and got to bring in the best of the rest and have the Big 12 be the best of the rest conference.
No doubt about it. It's got to be.
Yeah.
And if you added Virginia Tech, if you added NC State, Virginia Tech, like say like a Miami, a Pitt, and Louisville in the conference, it's funny because like I would still probably pick the top 3 that we picked over any of those schools too this year.
Right.
I would probably put Miami up there just based
on. Miami. Miami is. I would put Miami too.
Yeah, just based on the talent.
Let's get to some comments here. BR says Big 12 just needs to win playoff games. Otherwise, nothing changes.
Nailed it.
Yes.
Totally agree with you 100%, BR. Jason Spangler, KU member, says UCF probably going to win the Big 12. They're my pick.
Dark horse.
To win it, I don't see.
Here's the thing. If any school, I think, in the Big 12 is going to win a national championship, UCF is going to be the first school to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not saying it won't happen that way. For sure.
KJ Jefferson's a good player, guys. They got him in, man. They've got a ton of talent. They've got a nice home field advantage. I mean, I love it. I love what they're doing down there. I think that's the one game that, like, the Utes on a Friday night game, last game of the season, going down to the bounce house is not a game that I'm looking forward to. On a Friday night cross country, that totally is going to be so hard to win that game. I'm telling you guys.
Your toughest 3 games are BYU, OSU, and UCF.
Some of them, yeah. Iowa State's like the week before. Iowa State's kind of a tricky one too.
Is that that's a home game though?
It's a home game for the Utes, yeah.
Right.
But they're going to punch you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Jamie Thornton, good to have you here, Jamie. Good to see you. They need ESPN to pull the plug in the 2027 option. That's the most important thing. And then he's talking about the ACC right there. Anything we can do to help kill that conference, Ute and I are very much after.
Why do we want to kill the conference, though, Bomber? Let's tell folks the reason why the destruction of the ACC is actually a good thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, it's because it actually lifts up the Big 12. I mean, the conference realignment is going to happen no matter what. It's a fact. It's business. Yep. It is what it is. Like, you leave emotion out of it, and you can see that one conference grows and one fails, just like the Pac-12 did and everything. So the Big 12 will grow, the other conferences will grow, and everybody's going to move on and everything. So it's not a negative thing necessarily.
It's a zero-sum game.
Zero
It's a
sum.
zero sum. There's no middle ground. If you're not going up, you're going down. That's bottom line. Timothy Green says, I think West Virginia season goes as if we start out and we beat Penn State and we have a true chance.
Yeah, if they beat Penn State, they've got a chance to make the playoffs.
West
Oh my
Virginia,
gosh.
man. If they made the playoff, I'd be cheering for them. I'm a West
That would
Virginia
be
fan.
so. Oh my gosh.
So, I'm a West Virginia fan. Always have
Give me a
been.
Davy Crockett hat. I would wear that for weeks, man. If West Virginia gets to the playoffs and wins the game.
Hey, Mo and Ryan Willie's got 5 gifted memberships. What's going on there?
Well, let's see if it'll.
Let him cook.
There we go.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Ryan Willie, the evil badger, gifted 5 memberships to the College Football Mafia family. We've expanded the family to include Jamie Thornton, Clint Moses, Ralph P., Doc Gibbs, and DP. Thank you so much, Ryan, for doing that. Everybody,
Ryan.
make sure you thank Ryan in the chat. And once this show's over, you can go enjoy those member benefits. Feel free to spam some emojis in the chat. Go watch some videos. And enjoy all the members of a benefit. Thank you again, Ryan, for your continued generosity. It's much appreciated, sir. And go Luke Fickle.
And
guys, go ahead.
I was just going to say, on top of that, if you do receive a gifted membership, consider paying it forward and giving a membership to somebody else. We want to continue to grow the Mafia family, and that's the easiest way to do it. Gift a membership if you get one. I think it's like $5 or $6, and add more people to the family. Anyway, go ahead, you.
Guess what? So working on new Wild Ute University. I think
Right.
folks are going to like this one, okay? Miami to Big 12. What do you think, guys?
Oh, I love it. Let's do it. That's a dream
Working on that
scenario.
now, right?
Rocket
The dream
Rant will
scenario.
love that one.
Oh, Rocket
Dream
Rant, yeah.
scenario. It's too bad because you know what? I really think that they would be a fantastic fit. I realize it's not where Rock wants to end up, but for the Big 12 sake, that would be a huge win. So I love it. So that's the next video, huh? Miami to the Big 12. All right.
It's the next one up.
I love it. Jamie Thornton, a member again, says, I got expelled from Wild Ute University. It's great to be back. Did we expel Jamie?
Welcome back, Jamie.
She was on double secret probation.
Oh, okay. All right. I love it. Thank you very much for being here, Jamie. It's great to see you. Let's see here. And then, thanks so much at the College Football Mafia. Glad to have you here, Jamie. Dan Miter, member, says, great content tonight, guys. Don't underestimate the Hateful Eight. We've seen it all.
It's true.
There's no doubt about that. Absolutely not. And don't you guys really think it's apropos that all these other conferences are either dying or soon to be dead, and it's the Hateful Eight, the one that everybody looked past, that is just continuing to go from strength to strength?
That which fails to kill you makes you strong.
Yeah.
Certain. That is for certain.
Hate's powerful.
Jason Spangler, Miami is a very big 12-ish type school.
I mean, yeah, Miami for the Big 12 would be phenomenal. Let's take a look at what the analytics say about if the Big 12 should add them. It's going to be a fun one.
Wow. Don't bust my bubble because I'm looking forward to that being a yes.
I'm not. Yeah.
We'll see. Cleveland Rock says 70 watching, only 33 likes. Hit the like button, please. Come on, people. It's really easy. Hit that bell. Just click it underneath the picture and help us grow this thing. Best way to do that is hit the like
Speaking of
button.
that, do you guys know that we're really close to 4,000 subscribers?
I didn't know that.
I think we're like 60, 70 away or something. That'd be
my
awesome.
gosh, really?
So, yeah, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel and stuff. Let's grow this thing. Let's grow our family.
That's fantastic news. We're going to have to, once we take over to 4,000, we need to do a special show.
Oh, absolutely.
That is awesome. And we just tip our hats to all of you out there helping us grow this bigger and better. And we're just going to continue to add more quality, more services. And we do that all for you.
Yeah, I have a suggestion. Let's do the Miami Wild U as a members only live stream.
Ooh, I like that.
You got it.
Let's do it. I love it. that one will get you some. That'll get some lively conversation, I think.
Well, you know what we could do, guys? We could do we could even do like a Miami, and then we can bring some of the Big Ten content just to see, hey, where's the better fit for Miami, Big 12 or Big 10? Let's take a look see at that. We're gonna make it fun.
Okay, awesome, great ideas, and I really that makes me feel so good today, that knowing where we're at. It's been a little while since I've looked at the attendance. Clint Moses says, if you're not betting, I'm not taking your advice.
Right? Put your money where your mouth is.
Do you bet? Do you bet sports?
I bet bets like Cam Rising for $25 to win Heisman. Okay. I'll do like that kind of bet, but like I'm not a regular.
Okay.
Moen, it's better.
Moen's a degenerate gambler, so
okay.
Yeah, Moen bets.
Okay. All right. I didn't know. I've learned something.
Moen chases, so I will be up watching a football game at 11 p.m. to see if somebody covers the spread.
Okay. Arnengad says Utah lost to Northwestern in bowls twice.
Man, you got to bring that up. That's painful. Come on. Yeah, I mean, honestly, oh my gosh, that was a horrible loss last year. I mean, it makes sense because the whole team was like going to the transfer portal because Rising was coming back, and we had third string, fourth string quarterback. But still, you lost to Northwestern. You scored 7 dang points against Northwestern, so that was like one of the worst games ever. Gosh, what is with Northwestern? How do they win anything? Like, you just underestimate those guys and they beat you.
Well, don't underestimate them.
I'm not anymore. Never again.
Daniel Gygax, another member, says the FPI is wrong. No way West Virginia is that low with all the players returning.
Agree.
Yeah, the FPI is always wrong. And I think they've got Ohio State as number 1. And I'm telling you, it's wrong.
Yeah, I still can't figure out where that win total came from.
You guys, the FPI is a tricky one. Like, I disagree with FPI at the start of the season a little bit. Like, but it's eerily accurate to me because I remember one year Utah was number 3 in the nation, and they went and played an unranked USC, and Utah was undefeated. USC was having a bad year, and FPI had USC winning that football game, and everybody else, like the betting markets, had Utah blowing them out, and USC freaking won. Like, I couldn't believe it. So FPI. Look, like I know that it's not always right, but like when you look at matchup predictor on ESPN, like that's pretty strong.
Cleveland Rocks, another one of our members, a $2 super chat, says UCF would be angry to have Miami in. Nah. I don't.
UCF.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was.
They'd hate that.
Short-sighted.
Yeah, they would hate that because UCF is killing it right now in South Florida. Miami with their NIL money. Oh.
Let's see here.
You guys would want Miami in conference. Wouldn't that lift the Florida schools?
That's my opinion.
There can be only one. I'm going by the Highlander rule.
Okay. The Big Lubbock, another member, says you can't go back 5 years because of the transfer portal. TCU lost a highly rated defensive tackle in the portal. I think you can only go back 2 years, as any further out they have already transferred out.
Great point. And if you want to go back and look at the video, just take the last 2 years. It's going to show roughly the same type of figures. Like, it's just ballpark where the Big 12 schools recruit. That's what the whole point of that is. And yeah, you can go 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Your point's valid though, for sure, 100%.
Dan Miter, another one of our members, says all these totals are pretty fair. It's all dependent on who you play in such a huge conference. Somebody will definitely surprise. I think if there's anything we can take to the bank is every year there will be, if not one, maybe 2 surprise teams that are really good, and 2 surprise teams that'll be really, really bad, more than anybody would have guessed.
Hopefully it's not Colorado. I'm hoping it's Colorado. I hope the surprise team isn't Colorado.
I think Colorado is, yeah.
They're going to win some games early this year, guys.
If they win more than 5, I will be surprised.
Man, I think they're going to get 6 at least.
We need to go through their schedule because I think I can find 7 losses. Mr. Ed Wayner, another member, says, I'm calling this one in honor of the first anniversary of the passing of Golden Blue Dude. Oh, was that tonight? Well, Golden Blue Dude, thank you for being here and paving the way for us. Go ahead, Moen.
I was just pointing to the heavens.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good call out. Thanks for reminding us. Magnificent kid. I would have liked to met him and gone to dinner with him. He would have been really entertaining.
What I loved about Golden Blue Dude is like he, with his passion and everything, he always like brought a lot of like hope to like programs that maybe didn't have like a chance to get in like the biggest conferences. So he always kind of was just so excited and stuff about talking about this could happen or this could happen. I thought it was awesome just to build that hope with different fan bases. So RIP Golden Blue Dude, like you really changed a lot of people, man.
And in lieu of that, West Virginia will beat Penn State in Morgantown. That would propel the Mountaineers to 10 wins and a Big 12 contention. If they get to 10 wins, they're definitely right in the middle of it. There's
with
no
a win
doubt
over
about
Penn
it.
State. Oh yeah, I mean that's a team that can sneak in the playoff even if it doesn't win Big 12 if it gets up to around 10 wins.
Right.
Yes.
Penn State wins.
Yes. Absolutely right. Let me see here. I want to make sure I'm flagging the right one. Thank you, Mr. Ed. Appreciate your comment. Ryan Willie, $5 super chat, says Utah will not win a natty, maybe BYU with Mr. Money. That would be Ryan Smith. And
Ryan Smith,
he's
the best
flashing his
actor.
cash.
Oh man,
He's flashing his cash. There's no doubt about it.
thank you for the super chat, Ryan.
Yeah, very much. Thank you very much for the super chat. Let me get that off there.
I'll see you in the playoffs, Ryan Willie. Wisconsin, Utah, bring it on, boy.
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm getting back to some of these earlier ones. Scott Schrader says, hey, at DP, our resident Clemson fan. Is he here? Good to see you, DP. I think I might have missed you. I'm glad you showed up tonight. Thank you very much. It's great to see you. Really quick, I just want to let everybody know we're winding the show down. We're probably another 5 or 10 minutes. If you want to get your comment out tonight, it'll have to be a super chat. Otherwise, we're going to sort of cycle through the rest of the comments that we've got flagged. And I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. So if you want your comment to be read, certainly as we talk about the Big 12 and finishing positions for those records this year, now would be the time to do that. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Chris E says ASU isn't winning 5 games this year. They will be lucky to win 3 games. That program won't recover anytime soon due to debts. Ute, what do you think about that?
ASU is always, every year they're supposed to be that sleeping giant.
Yeah, that's for.
Are they going to do it this year, the next year? Like that was like every single year in the Pac-12 era. And ASU with Herm, within the first couple of years, they got pretty good. And even before Herm came, they've just been down for so dang long. It's the craziest thing. Like those guys can recruit. They don't recruit as good as they should. And like they're just an underperformer all the time. Like, can they ever get the right coach and like put that thing together? Because they could build a beast if they did. But yeah, I think this year they're gonna be hurting. Rashada's gone. He was the most talented player they had.
Yeah.
Not a lot of depth there. Dillingham's rebuilding the whole thing. Can he get it done? I don't know if he's got that killer instinct to be a head coach. We'll see.
Moen, what do you think?
They lost their quarterback this season. He transferred to Georgia. I like Dillingham, but he doesn't have his Jake Plummer. The last time ASU was really something was under Jake Plummer. So,
and that was a while ago.
Yes,
like 20 years ago.
1997.
That was a long time ago.
Osweiler or something, right? Remember that guy?
I do remember. Wet Blanket, good to see you here, Wet Blanket. It's been a minute. Giving us a cowboy smile. Good to see you in the house. Very much.
Wet Blanket, why are you getting slandered so much? What is the deal with the Pokes getting totally disrespected by the odds makers and everybody else? I can't believe it. Hey, the Utes aren't disrespecting y'all. I'm telling you that. Nor is this channel at all. We believe in the Pokes. So just throwing some good vibes your way.
Shonsky says, Wild Ute, the Utes are going to be good, but I'm just saying this isn't the Princess Paint Your Fingernails Conference. Big 12 teams are going to punch you in the back of the mouth.
Wouldn't expect anything less. But you're underestimating how big a punch Utah brings, too. So
I think
it goes both ways.
Utah's a very tough team. Illini Ted, another member, says, I stay with Wild Ute University because I heard fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life.
0.0.
I think that's hilarious. Great one, Ted. You win my award. If there was a golden ticket award, I'd give it to you tonight. Jeff Watson, good to see you, Jeff. No way for KSU to beat OU 3 out of 4 when their average class rank was 52. Rankings are all we have, but they are flawed. Yeah, nobody disagrees with you, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, but it's the okay. Like, here's the thing: is like evaluations are always flawed, but you need to do them anyway. Like when you get a home appraisal, you still get a value, right? You have to do that because you need to have like a market value and everything. A player is the same way. It's an appraisal on a player's star ranking, and sometimes those go up and down and everything. But they're mandatory. What you do with that is up to you. Do you want to build up your house and stuff? Do you want to make it nicer? Or do you want to ruin your house? I mean, it's kind of like the same way with like a recruit.
Moen, you want to add anything to that?
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, class rankings are class rankings, but I think if you look at Kansas State, I think they've got the most solid team overall. There's not a lot of superstars on there, but they're just
top to bottom
team.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mr. Ed Wayner, another $2 super chat, says, not Big 12. Manny Diaz, Duke upsets Miami. Rock and rant.
Duke upsets Miami?
That's bold. Why don't you put some money on that?
Yeah.
You're going to get some great odds on that one.
Yeah, Ed, do it. Throw it down.
Wow.
You got to tweet us when you do it, too. Show us you did it.
That's right. Yeah, let's see the betting ticket. I would like to see that. It would be a good game. I'll say that. Jason Spangler says, bro, Arizona State has been this is the year team since the 90s. Actually, Jason, it goes all the way back to the 70s, even before they joined the big Pac-12, Pac-10. They have always been, because everybody knows it's beautiful climate. Everybody knows beautiful girls. And they've never understood why that school have they ever won a Rose Bowl?
I think they have won a Rose Bowl. I believe, yeah, we talked about this on Sunday when John Cooper was the coach.
Okay.
They beat Michigan in the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
Is that the only Rose Bowl they ever made?
I think
no. They made a Rose Bowl in
Bowls.
'97.
Yeah.
Jake Plummer, and they lost in the final seconds. Joe Germain to David Boston. And it denied them their national championship.
They've been to 2 or 3 Rose Bowls, but I wasn't sure on the one win. I thought that was probably the case, but I couldn't remember.
You know that Arizona's never been to a Rose Bowl?
Yes.
Now that they're out of the pack, probably won't ever. It's crazy.
No. BR says Big 12 loses a star when they recruited a kid.
It's true. It means that, if he's a 4-star and he gets recruited to a Big 12 school, he's immediately knocked down to a 3-star.
That's true. Yeah, I've seen that.
No. Are you kidding me?
No, I agree. The same thing happens with Ohio State. If you want a 4-star kid comes in, he signs with Ohio State, he's now 5 stars.
Are you guys saying there's corruption with the recruiting ranking?
Yeah,
I am. Yes.
You know what? There is. I agree with that. The one thing that's a bit scary though to me is like, I hate the fact that the blue chip ratio thing for champions is a real legit thing, but it is. Like if you want to win a championship, then like history says you better have more 4- and 5-star players than 3-star players in your roster. So it's hard to really. You can say that it's flawed, but it's the best system available.
Sure. Well, it's the only system available. So, follow up was if you are recruited by a blue blood, adds a star. That's true as well. Jamie Thornton says, my here is the evil badger. Here is the evil badger. Thanks, Ryan Willie, for the gift of membership and sponsoring cheese on barbecue for Mr. Greg Flugar. I don't get my here is the evil badger. What's that?
Hero. I think she's trying to say
hero. Okay.
He gifted a membership to her.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thanks for being a member, Jamie. Good to see you. Timothy Green says, Golden Blue Dude helped me get into all this, and I'm so glad he did. Thank you, Golden Blue Dude. Again,
100%.
Yeah, we totally agree with that. And I think we're going to do one last comment here from Jamie. Hey guys, I've got a video to send to Wild Ute, Moen, and Bomber. The Duke AD has spoken. She sure sounds like she's serious about getting the football program up to being competitive.
Ooh.
And conference
Realignment.
They does not surprise me. I think Duke has figured out they can't ride that wave to a realignment position if they don't have a football team.
Yeah,
I agree
they
with
need
that
to improve the
100%.
football. 100%.
And one more comment here from Michael Smith. ASU won the Pac in 2007 when have Big 12 teams other than KSU, TCU, Baylor, and OSU last won the Big 12 chip. I don't know. I don't have that history in my head.
When was the last time Tech won the Big 12? Texas Tech.
I don't know they ever have they?
Texas Tech's had to win the Big 12. I know Iowa State has not. Iowa State has
Oklahoma
not won the
State
Big 12.
has.
Oklahoma State has.
Won it.
Maybe when Michael Crabtree was the receiver there, I remember them upsetting Texas. Texas was, I think, number 2, and they were number 7. Texas Tech upset Texas.
Yeah, I don't know, Michael. I'm not sure.
But his point is ASU's they've won a title before, right? And so they deserve for some respect. I get it. Here's my view of ASU. ASU is if you get the right system, right coach, right athletic department. I don't know what the functional issue is with ASU. If it ever goes right, the thing could blow up, right? Like UCF and ASU are the 2 highest upside programs in the Big 12. UCF number 1, ASU number 2. But I don't know what's going on down there. Like it's been going on for a long time. It's confusing.
Troll grinding cheat clapper, one of the best names in history. $4.99 super chat says team with most Rose Bowl wins is USC with 25. Second place is Michigan at 8. 4 of USC wins went against Michigan. Ohio State. How many wins does Ohio State have?
The Ohio State is not very good in the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
We've lost a couple national championships out there to USC.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would have thought Ohio State was higher. I've never looked that up. It is interesting regardless. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Moen, final words as we get out of here. By the way, everybody, as usual, depending on news, we may or may not have a show tomorrow night. Stand by and watch. Just follow me on Twitter, and I'll let you know whether we're going to do a show or not. What we're trying to do is add better content rather than just flooding the airways with shows. So if there's big news, I guarantee we'll have a show. Moen.
Oh!
I couldn't help myself.
Okay.
No, man.
That's it?
That's it. I just want to say,
all right.
well.
Oh.
Ute.
Well, there we go. We talked about the real national championship contenders. We have K-State, Utah, and Oklahoma State as the 3 schools that could win a playoff game, advance in the playoffs, and possibly get to a natty. We're not predicting that. We're not saying that or anything. But we analyzed it today and stuff, and those 3 have high potential this year, at least. So then also KU, West Virginia, Iowa State, Texas Tech, Arizona, UCF would be that second tier of dark horses. You want to look at that way to win the Big 12 and get to the playoffs. So fun show tonight. I'm glad we talked some football and stuff, dove deep into it. So good times.
Appreciate everybody being here tonight again on a Tuesday night. I want to just wrap up with what announcement I said at the beginning of the show. We're starting to sell off the Big 12 Mafia rally towels. I've got some money invested in there that I want to hopefully contribute and put over to getting the football game that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months. Moen's already pre-ordered his. But I need to invest some money. So I need to shift some money from one resource to another. And the way to do that would be to sell some rally towels. So if you want a rally towel, $15, that includes the shipping. So you don't need to add anything else on that. Just send that to my Venmo. That's at NPB007. I will make sure you leave me your address, and I'll get that rally towel out to you right away. Just so you know, I'm not getting rich on those things, guys. I'm basically just covering costs. So that just gives us another way we can bring a little bit of that money back in house. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody again for being here tonight. Moen, Ute, thanks for being here. It's been wonderful to have you. Ute, you feel better. And you're gone on Friday night, right?
Yep. Be back for Tuesday.
Okay. All right. And Moen, that means it's you and I on Friday night, no matter what.
It's you and I, and we'll see who the special guest is going to be.
I love special guests. They're my favorite. All right. Well, appreciate everybody being here. Everybody have a great night. Drive safe. If you have been drinking, do not drive. And be safe, get some rest, and have a great day at work tomorrow. Other than that, we'll see you later. And peace out. See ya.